How are we doing, guys? Moose here, episode 68 of our West Ham United career mode. We are getting into season 3. We do have our performance review with the board. Of course, they wanted us to qualify for the Europa League. We did one better and finished third, qualifying for the Champions League without even a qualifier. The Europa League, they wanted us to reach the knockout stage. We did one better. We went through one round of the knockout stage, losing in the round of 16. And Domestic Cup, I think they wanted us to reach the quarterfinals. And we actually won the League Cup. So, fantastic performance from us. We also finished in the semis of the FA Cup. So, from all of that, we then go into Season 3 here. We do a little sim, get into the first day with the transfer window open. You can see they say they want us to start with a budget of £24 million, 110 wages, which for a player, if a player was to cost £24 million, they're probably going to be more than 110 wages. So, really, it's not a huge budget. I mean, West Ham in real life spent £25 million, like, gross, or net, I should say, not just $25 million and then sold some players and offset it. They spent $25 million plus this season, so I think that's a little low number to deal with. They do want us to reach the quarterfinal of the Domestic Cup. They want us to reach the Champions League positions again, which I think is, that's pretty much what I'm shooting for again. And they'd like us to just get out of our group in the Champions League, which will remain to be seen depending on our draw, but I think that's a doable thing, and definitely I just want to stay in the top 4 this season. We're retooling. We have to deal with some tougher competitions. We have Grenier and Pastore coming in, and with that, I'm going to go into the squad, things we're going to have to deal with this season, but that's really what we're looking at thus far. We also have some nice youth talent, Craig Croft, so we are going to get to discussing the squad and seeing how things look right now.
Alright guys, so obviously we've now seen our goals, we've seen our budget, what we kind of have to work with for right now. Before we have to make any sort of roster moves or transfer dealings. We looked at the squad in the last update, or the last episode I should say, just got a squad report the last episode before we had the awards and the goal of the season and everything like that. So what I'm going to do actually in this episode is we're going to have a look at the squad again before we look at our transfer targets, but it's going to be more of a discussion of what we need positionally rather than a full squad report, because if you want a real squad report you can just look at the last one we did, but this is just going to add in the couple players that we got on free transfers, and we'll take a look at them from there. You can see we'll have Carroll and Dybala leading the line for right now, but Connor Wickham has been escalating in his rating by a lot more than anyone else. He's already a 78, and he's been going +3, +4 a season, whereas Carroll's kind of stagnated. Dybala's only gone +1 in spite of his form. We now have Grenier in that cam position that Downing was in, kind of a free role. He'll offer pretty much the same thing. Downing maybe a little bit more pace, ability to run at players, but Grenier's passing is just unbelievable. And he now offers us a right-footed free kick taker. Pastore jumps into the role that Delph had been playing in our diamond last year, whereas Delph moves back to holding midfield for now. Obviously, I like having him holding midfield because he's a decent defender, real pacey, good mover of the ball, good dribbler. He's very well-rounded. But is he good enough to play that holding midfield role all the time? Same thing here with Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think at this point we need a little bit of pace in the lineup. We need a little bit of ability. I know he's not the highest rate. He's only 79 right now, but he does have the potential. I think his potential in FIFA is absurd. It's like 87 or something. So if he actually starts growing, he should be going up very fast. Plus he gives us that pace and ability going forward that we don't really have besides Dybala in the lineup. So we're going to need him, and I think we'll have to leave him in the lineup. That's why I'm kind of also leaning towards a 4-3-3 with Grenier as a cam, Carroll up top, Dybala and Chamberlain on the wings, and then Pastore and Delph kind of figuring out, with Delph kind of being the holding midfield and Pastore working around there as well. I think that could be our other option, but we're going to leave him the diamond for now while we discuss it. Tompkins and Kulu at center back for sure, Jenkinson at right back, Cresswell at left back. Now we look at the bench here. We got Wickham, obviously, is our backup striker. Downing, kind of a cam, can play as a wide midfielder. Rabiot, great technical midfielder. He also decent defensively, so not bad. Notable bit more defensive option. Same with Chiate, who's also kind of a backup center back. With Winston Reid, of course, is our actual backup center back, and Tom Thomas right now is our backup goalie behind Adrian. And the thing with Adrian and Thomas is we're going in the Champions League, and to be honest, when you look at our starting lineup and then our subs, look how many just 70-plus players we have. So in terms of, we could field like 3 Premier League teams and be really, really solid, but we don't have any real superstars. That's why I brought in Pastore, but he wasn't even a superstar at his club. Same with Grenier. And Kulu, to be honest, is our real superstar, I think. He came as a starter. He's fantastic, full international for his for his national team and everything. He's fantastic. But other than that, you know, we're just a very, very good squad, and which is why I think when you look at our team, you know, 4th place, which I went, you know, we really overachieved last year, and you saw towards the end of the season we started slipping, lost a couple games to Stoke and teams of that nature, West Brom, and it really kind of let me know that, you know, we definitely need to improve this squad. I think one area where you take a look at the bench and everything we have to improve is we don't have a lot of wide midfielders. I think Oxlade-Chamberlain really is our best wide midfielder. Then after that, it's Downing technically and Jarvis. And when you look at that, we don't have any real pacey wide midfielders. We have Rodriguez, but he doesn't have a lot in terms of those other stats growing. He hasn't been growing that well for me. Valencia can play as a right winger, but he's not great. He's sort of fallen down the pecking order in our team. Thiago's been really good, but like I said, you know, a lot of times in the episodes you'll notice he plays better as a central midfielder, to be honest, in that diamond than he does as a wide midfielder because he has no pace at all, but he's a great passer, decent defender and everything. With Barber, no pace, but unbelievable defending. He's one of our youth players. If you look at the scouting report, he has like 80-some tackling already. He's fantastic. He's going to be an unbelievable holding midfielder. Cox actually has decent pace for a left midfielder. Croft is going to be who's really good, but I don't want to call him up yet. I'm trying to hold him in the academy as long as I can. So wide midfielder, to be honest, holding midfield would be another area that I want to get a real stud back there if we can. Of course, right back as well. Full back basically. We brought in Abita as our backup left back, and Jenkinson is our starter right back. But I would love another right back because, to be honest, our only other options is playing Abita out of position, playing Joey O'Brien, who I'm not in favor of, and Pratley here. But when you look at his stats, he's more of a center back because he doesn't have a lot of pace up the wing in terms of what a right back can offer, what Jenkinson does for me. And he's really good defensively tackling. He has decent heading as well. So he honestly could play more of a center back because he's 6 foot tall as well. So really, I think the 3 areas we're looking at here would be probably a new goalkeeper. Like I said, it's been suggested. I've had a few suggested to me. And Adrian, I think he's really, really solid. But if we're going to go into the Champions League and try and make an impact with a team that is largely, for a Champions League team, average. For a Premier League team, we're very good. I think 4th, again, is what we're shooting for, depending on how much we strengthen the team. But really, we're going to need a goalkeeper. I want another right back to give Jenkinson another option, especially with how injury prone he's been. Holding midfielder would be huge for us, and then a winger. So those are my 4 goals. It depends how much money we have, you know, what we can get players for. If we sell any players, how much damage we'll actually be able to do. But those are the areas I really want to go. And with that, we're going to take a look at what I have compiled for the shortlist for right now. Obviously, I'm scouting these players, so we'll wait on their valuations before we really make any deals. So it might be a few days in career mode time before we can make any deals. But I've compiled. Leno was suggested to me as one potential option, which would be fantastic. He's also younger than Adrian. He starts with a higher rating, so he's already going to be better than him. So he's definitely going to be improvement. Plus, he has the ability to improve in terms of that. Another recommendation would be Mattia Perrin, which I wonder where his overall is actually going to be because he does start at a little bit of a low overall, but he has potential room for growth like an absolute boss. So we'll have to see. He'll probably have a high valuation, but I wonder where his actual overall is at. So it'll be between Leno and him. I have Ter Stegen on there just because Lloris went to Barcelona, so really Ter Stegen's their backup now. So if he wanted to get a lifeline out of there, he would be an option. Right back, I definitely want Adam Matthews. He's the guy I've had my eye on for multiple FIFAs and would be the first choice that I'd want to bring in. Another center back potentially because we only really have 3. Kiyate can play center back, but I'd rather bring in a nice solid center back that could be a potential first stringer at some point. But we'll have to see. I'd love to bring in John Anthony Brooks just for a little bit of American flair to come into the team. Obviously, I said holding midfielder. Song would be one option. He'd be a little bit of a cheaper option, honestly, but I would love to have somebody that has a lot more upside, a little bit more time in the lineup, which Michael Bradley would be the ideal choice for me. He would be unbelievable, but every time I inquire about him, they want so much money, this Toronto FC. They just want to take the absolute piss every time I ask them how much they want for him. So we'll have to see. Nainggolan would be my number 2 option. He'd be the other guy I would want because he's just an absolute monster. He runs around the pitch. He makes tackles. Look at what he's best at. Stamina, acceleration, aggression, tackling, and ball control and dribbling. What more could you want? His short passing is also very good. In a holding midfielder, what more could you want? I think Nainggolan would be the best option if we can't bring in Bradley. because he has some wonderful attributes as well. Of course, Nainggolan was the man who came into Roma when Bradley left there. So we have those two. Winger-wise, Januzaj is my main target. As we move down, you see I have Depay on there as well, but he's going to be worth so much money. And Rafa is a cheeky option because I was interested in him actually last year, seeing him play for Braga. I know he's very pacey, he's good attack position, he knows the game well. He's also young, and he'll probably be a cheaper option than a Depay, but he still has a lot of ability. Januzaj as well from United because, like I said before, he doesn't get a lot of games at United just because they play that diamond formation, and you know, with career mode managers, they never seem to change formation, so he doesn't get any games for United. So I would love to bring him into the team. But that's what we have in the short list. Let me know who you think I should make an offer for, what you think I should do as I go into the last part of the episode here, which isn't going to be on FIFA. It's going to be Back to Hammers headlines, which you're going to see in just a second.
Now, like I said, we do get here into the Hammers headlines, the top source for all West Ham United news. And this is kind of where you guys come into play a little bit. The Hammers, will we receive a stadium payout? West Ham United's much documented move to the Olympic Stadium is now in doubt, with remuneration payments rumored to be awarded to the East London club by the City of London. The stadium was being made ready for the club to move in for the coming Premier League campaign and for their first season of Champions League football, but significant structural issues have stalled the process for an indefinite period, putting the move on hold. The increase in attendance and turnstile fees are rumored to be paid to the club by the city for payments they're losing out on, money they were supposed to be getting for this season because of that move, with the payment said to be around £50 million because of lost sponsorships and turnstile and attendance fees. Now, really what I'm going into this is, in real life, West Ham United would be moving to the Olympic Stadium here in Season 3. Obviously, in FIFA, we can't do that. We're playing at Upton Park. We're going to stay at Upton Park. We are in Season 3. Obviously, if you are a West Ham fan, you already knew about this move. If you're not, now you do. And basically, the structural issues thing, that's not real. Obviously, West Ham will actually be moving in to the Olympic Stadium in 2016. But that has nothing to do with this career mode. But really, my thought was, we're not going to be able to actually move into the Olympic Stadium. We're going to stay at Upton Park. We're in Season 3. This career mode will be going, you know, until FIFA 16, but that'd probably only be 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons, including this one, so 2 or 3 seasons. And with that, do we want to kind of speed things up a little bit here and just help us out in terms of the way West Ham would actually want to be playing if we were in the Champions League heading into the Olympic Stadium? We would be shelling out big bucks to bring in some top talent to do well in the Champions League and make that first season a success. So my question to you is, when I say £50 million, you'll know that number because that's the amount when you use the financial takeover. You get it for 1 season. So really, it'd just be a 1-season influx. And really, when you think about it, $50 million at this stage doesn't buy you a whole lot. It'll probably get you 2 or 3 players. I was planning on getting another top scout with it, so it's down to about 42 million pounds. So 42 million pounds, that's probably two quality players for 20 million apiece. You know, 15 million apiece. That's probably three really good players. And not even Ronaldo-type players, you know, 80 some overall, 82, 83. Not huge players, but players that we will need to strengthen the squad. So I'm going to have a straw poll in the description. Obviously, you can kind of tell my preference. I'm leaning towards doing the takeover, but I do want to hear if you think it would ruin the career mode. So comment on that if you think you would want to see it, if you think it's a good idea in terms of making way for the what we'd be getting with the Olympic Stadium, or if you think we should just keep plugging along with the $23 million budget that we've gotten stuck with and just play it that way. So let me know in the comments. Vote in the poll so I can see what you guys are thinking, kind of base what I'm going to do off of that. I'll probably check after 1 or 2 days, probably a day, and see where we're at, because I do want to get underway. I'll probably get underway in both cases, and then based on what you guys suggest, that's which one we'll go with, just so we can keep the videos flowing here. But let me know in the comment, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this, and we'll see you in episode 69. Be sure to subscribe so we can see in that next episode and continue this career mode with West Ham United. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.